Casemiro, a name that once filled every opponent with dread. At Real Madrid, he was more than just a midfielder. He was the backbone, the enforcer who broke up attacks and turned defense into offense, side by side with Kroos and Modric. He helped lift trophy after trophy, securing his place as one of the most feared players on the field. But then came the move to Manchester United. It was supposed to be a fresh start, a chance to prove himself in the Premier League. But now he's in a different spotlight, one that raises questions rather than cheers. So what happened to the warrior we once knew?
As a footballer, leave the football before the football leaves you. The football's left him.
How did he go from a Real Madrid legend to facing doubts about his role at United? Casemiro's journey at Real Madrid began quietly. He rose through Castilla, went on loan to Porto, and came back ready to make his mark. As he worked his way into the lineup, he quickly became the anchor of the team, forming an incredible midfield trio with Kroos and Modric. Season after season, he was the wall that let Madrid's attackers play freely, knowing he'd be there to shut down any threat. Casemiro wasn't just another player. He was essential to Madrid's success. At his best, Casemiro's impact went beyond stats. Yes, he led in tackles, interceptions, and recoveries. But what made him unique was his timing and skill under pressure, stepping up in crucial games like Champions League finals. And he was more than a defensive player. He was a leader who did the hard work no one else wanted to do. Casemiro was the engine that powered Madrid to 5 Champions League titles, setting a standard few could match. So when he left Madrid for Manchester United, it felt like a bold choice. United fans were thrilled, knowing they were getting a proven leader, one of the best defensive midfielders in the world. And for a while, he delivered. In his first season, he made a big impact with powerful tackles, key goals, and a commanding presence in the midfield. He brought a fighting spirit back to United, giving fans hope that he could help turn things around at Old Trafford. But with all the excitement came the pressure. At United, Casemiro faced not only the physical demands of the Premier League, but also the weight of high expectations. Fans believed in him, but could he live up to those hopes? As Casemiro adjusted to life at Manchester United, his early success began to fade, revealing unexpected struggles. For a player who had been a defensive powerhouse at Real Madrid, this shift was both surprising and unsettling for fans. The Premier League's speed and physical demands started to take a toll on him in ways no one had anticipated. Physically, Casemiro began to show signs of slowing down. His quick, game-saving interceptions, once his trademark, became harder to pull off. In one-on-one battles, he struggled against the fast, agile attackers common in the Premier League. Opponents noticed this and began exploiting his vulnerabilities, often beating him on counterattacks and forcing him into tough challenges. This led to frequent fouls, yellow cards, and even a red card, all of which threw off his rhythm and confidence. Tactically, Casemiro also faced new challenges. At Real Madrid, he had played in a well-organized midfield alongside 2 top players, allowing him to focus primarily on defense. But at United, under new manager Erik ten Hag, he was in a team still finding its identity. Now Casemiro was expected to play a larger role in build-up play, keeping possession, and even creating opportunities.
We are watching one of the greats of the modern time playing in one of the best midfields we've seen who dominated Europe. Him holding Kroos to one side, Modric to the other, was one of the best midfields. Could easily go up against the Barcelona midfield that we all loved of Busquets, Xavi, Iniesta. So he's been an absolute great. I am nowhere near on a level of what that man has achieved. Champions Leagues, playing for Brazil, playing for Real Madrid.
This shift put him in situations where he felt less comfortable, especially when pressured to keep the ball and make quick, accurate passes in attack. As the season wore on, his stats painted a concerning picture. His tackle success rate dropped, interceptions decreased, and his overall impact in United's midfield lessened. In big games, Casemiro was no longer the solid force fans expected. Plays that once ended with a strong Casemiro tackle were now slipping through, leaving supporters and analysts wondering if he was the same player they'd celebrated just months before. Fans and the media noticed his dip in form, and criticism grew louder.
I think Casemiro, deadly serious, should know himself tonight as an experienced player that he should only have another 3 games left at the top level. The next 2 league games and a cup final, and then he should be thinking, I need to go to the MLS or Saudi. I'm deadly serious. His agent or the people around him, they always have a team of people around them. They need to tell him this has to stop.
Doubts about whether he could handle the Premier League's physicality increased with each lackluster performance. The pressure took its toll. Casemiro, once known for his calm and precise play, began to look frustrated and even reckless at times, making decisions that only invited more scrutiny. The difference between Casemiro's Real Madrid days and his time at Manchester United couldn't be more striking. In Spain, he was the backbone of his team, a defensive maestro whose performances fueled countless victories. But in England, Casemiro began to look out of place, as if the physical demands of the Premier League had aged him faster than anyone expected. It wasn't just a dip in form, it seemed like the league was exposing a deeper struggle that even the best players might face. With each match, the question grew louder. Was this slump just a rough patch in adjusting to a tougher league? Or was it something more permanent, a sign of the wear and tear his career had taken? Fans wondered if their midfield hero could bounce back, or if they were witnessing the beginning of the end for one of football's most respected defensive players. As his struggles continued, what seemed like initial growing pains began to reveal deeper issues. Casemiro's impact on the field wasn't just inconsistent. At times, it was detrimental to United's play. The once reliable midfielder, known for his toughness and calm under pressure, now faced questions about his ability to keep up. His timing on tackles, once a hallmark, had become unreliable. He struggled against faster midfielders, relying on fouls to slow them down. Yellow cards piled up and suspensions left United scrambling, missing the reliable anchor they had counted on. The criticism grew.
Midfield that we all loved, Busquets, Xavi, Iniesta. So he's been an absolute great. I am nowhere near on a level of what that man has achieved. Champions Leagues, playing for Brazil, playing for Real Madrid. But I always remember something when I retired myself. And there was a saying I always remember as a footballer: leave the football before the football leaves you.
The media, fans, and even former players began openly questioning whether Casemiro could handle the Premier League's physicality. This kind of scrutiny was new for him, a player used to respect for his steady presence on the pitch. Social media buzzed with debates over whether his best days were behind him, and if United had overpaid for a player past his peak. Adding to his challenges were Erik ten Hag's tactical demands, which added new responsibilities. At Real Madrid, Casemiro had thrived as a defensive specialist in a well-structured setup. But at United, Ten Hag asked him to play a more versatile role, holding onto the ball under pressure, aiding in build-up play, and adjusting to faster-paced attacks. This change exposed some of Casemiro's limitations, as his passing accuracy and ball control began to slip, drawing even more criticism. These struggles affected United's overall game as well. With Casemiro's defensive reliability in question, the midfield became more vulnerable, and opponents found gaps to exploit. The partnerships he was meant to form with other midfielders felt shaky, and the team's defense often looked exposed. Even United's defensive record took a hit as Casemiro's form continued to decline, leaving fans and analysts alike questioning his future. By the end of his second season, Casemiro's journey at Manchester United had shifted dramatically. Once adored, he had become a divisive figure among fans, with some questioning his future at the club. Rumors swirled about a possible move to a less demanding league like Saudi Arabia, where he might extend his career without the intensity of the Premier League. For Casemiro, a player known for his grit, discipline, and winning mentality, this sudden decline felt almost surreal. The man who once hoisted trophies year after year with Real Madrid now faced an uncomfortable reality, a decline that was unexpected yet impossible to ignore. While his legendary status at Madrid was untouchable, his time at United was beginning to feel like a difficult final chapter to an otherwise stellar career. However, there's a glimmer of hope. With Erik ten Hag's departure and Ruben Amorim's arrival as the new manager, United might be turning a corner. Amorim, known for his adaptable tactics and ability to breathe new life into players, could be exactly what Casemiro needs to get back on track. Amorim has hinted at building a system that aligns with Casemiro's strengths, focusing on a solid defense and structured midfield, one that could ease the pressure on Casemiro and let him play his natural game. Under this new setup, Casemiro could focus on what he does best: breaking up play, commanding the midfield, and covering for his teammates. Fans are hopeful, seeing Amorim's arrival as a chance for a reset, not just for Casemiro, but for the entire team. With a supportive structure and a balanced approach, Casemiro could once again be the defensive powerhouse he was at Real Madrid, anchoring United with his experience and resilience. The pressure will remain, but the new manager's tactical vision could make a real difference. For Casemiro, this may be the turning point, a chance to prove that, despite his recent struggles, he still has what it takes to lead and dominate. With Ruben Amorim at the helm, Casemiro's story at Manchester United could go from one of decline to one of revival and redemption.